And we have Jody Lewis and her husband Harold here, and from Moberly. And also, since we scheduled this, Timothy, who just walked in, Timothy does a very similar thing, but different. And since he is here and has agreed to do some stuff out here, we are going to go out in the cemetery, and everybody will have a chance to see things and ask questions. I think Jody will probably talk in here a little bit, but it's all about seeing. You know, she can talk all you can't believe this until you see it. So, Jody, you want to come up and repeat? Ken, thanks for helping us get this together out here. Wonderful facility, beautiful cemetery. Just a quick thing, you know, this is about, what do you call it, dowsing, grave dowsing, whatever, I don't know, something like that. And we have Jody Lewis and her husband Harold here, and from Moberly. And also, since we scheduled this, Timothy, who just walked in, Timothy does a very similar thing, but different. And since he is here and has agreed to do some stuff out here, we are going to go out in the cemetery, and everybody will have a chance to see things and ask questions. I think Jody will probably talk in here a little bit, but it's all about seeing. You know, she can talk all you can't believe this until you see it. So, Jody, you want to come up? And Timothy, if you want to say something, you don't have to. You're a preacher, of course you can talk.
A little bit of background. I've been dowsing 25 years. I am on file with the funeral home. A few years ago, I found graves on city property. They brought dowsing brought ground penetrating radar in behind me. They confirmed it. So those other 15 marked graves now have a plaque to represent them. To me, that's what it's about, is the unmarked graves. There are 3 categories with rods. There is witching, anything to do with water, wells, water lines, cisterns, anything water. Dowsing is graves, foundations, underground electrical lines, minerals, and if you're doodle bugging, you're looking for oil. 25 years, but I've never doodle bugged. Dowsing has been around since 400 BC, and to this day there's still controversy about it. And that's okay. Everyone has their own beliefs. My beliefs, rods don't lie. When people would move into new homesteads, they would witch to find where to dig for wells. Saved a lot of time, saved a lot of digging. Witching and dowsing was used in different wars, fresh water source, tunnels, caves, and landmines. I could not fathom looking for landmines with my dowsing rods, but they were used and relied on. There is nothing paranormal or witchcraft about dowsing. There is a magnetic field in the ground, and when a grave is dug, a well, or footings, that magnetic field is broken. Once it is broken, it is never reconnected. If you have a grave that is 200 years old or 2 years old in your yard, in your field, or under a concrete parking lot, you will find it. Your rod's crossing is that magnetic field trying to reconnect, even if it's 200 years later. Ground penetrating radar versus dowsing. Ground penetrating, very, very expensive. Dowsing is free. Ground penetrating will tell you, yes, you have a grave. Dowsing can tell you male or female. They don't have the scientific reason for it, but if you stand to the side of a grave with your rod, you are buried in a Christian manner, head west, feet east. If it goes to the west, to the head, it is a woman. If it goes to the east, to the feet, it is a man. The easiest way to remember that is Mae West and Clint Eastwood. I have had people ask me who Mae West is, so you all are my people. But it's fascinating. There is so much history and genealogy in a cemetery. When you can read the ground, you get that much more. Cemetery, which is a Greek word, means sleeping place, or graveyard, which is actually what we're dowsing in today, are symmetrically lined out. When you look at a cemetery, everything looks perfectly organized. If you can read the ground, you're going to come up with some surprises, so don't be surprised. Christian burial, head west, feet east. So when you douse, you want to walk it north to south or south to north. That way you are crossing the graves and you are picking your lineup, your pattern, especially if there is a lot with no headstones. 99% of the time you are buried like you are married. The woman is to the left of the man. If you are looking for an old lost cemetery out in the woods, look for cedar trees or yucca plants. They are considered the tree of life. They stay green year-round, and they will shorten your distance or area of what you're looking for by a lot. When you go to douse in a cemetery, if the cemetery has a fence, you want to douse 15 to 20 feet out from that fence on all sides. You will be amazed at what you find. Fences get put in the wrong location. Fences get moved. Headstones were not affordable. Headstones broke and sunk. Epidemics, a different nationality, somebody committed a crime, or slaves. You will be highly surprised at what you find outside a cemetery fence. When you do that, if there is no fence, then you will start from the first headstone and walk your 15 to 20 feet out. But like I said, if you can douse or want to get into dowsing, don't go online and buy high-end expensive rods. If you have the old metal coat hangers, or go to Lowe's or wherever, get whatever metal material that you want. I use brass, because that magnetic field is going to pull on that metal. When you go out, take someone with you, or let somebody know where you are going, or take a cell phone. I have literally ran into open wells, shafts, holes big enough to break a leg or an ankle. So at least take a phone, let somebody know where you are going. I've been in some pretty shady areas for old cemeteries, but they're interesting. And above all, last but not least, bug spray. 14 and a half years ago, I contracted Rocky Mountain spotted fever. It is not your friend. Take the bug spray. Is there any questions? One more than you? Yes.
What led you to do this?
Genealogy. We had one family member we could not find. And somebody asked me, they said, have you tried dowsing? I'm like, what the heck is that? And is it legal? I had no clue. And I got into it from there. And we did find that one relative. Yes.
You said you use brass. Can you tell that different metals work better or not as good as others?
I think they all work the same. I used to use old metal coat hangers. They're hard to come across anymore, fine, but with it being magnetic, any kind of magnet, it's going to pull. So I enjoy it. So.
Can anybody do it, or do you have to have?
There is no middle. You can either douse or you cannot.
So some people can't do it.
Right.
Okay.
I had one lady that told me it was just a bunch of baloney, that I was moving the rods. So I gave them to her, and when the rods moved by themselves with her, she couldn't drop them quick enough. And she's like, those things just move by themselves. That lady was my sister, and to this day, she does not douse. Yes, Gary?
Jody, what about a cremation with a bird? What do you do with that?
You can find it, but you will not be able to tell if it's male or female. Yes?
I've been doing that for quite a while, but my male and female, I think the male goes this way, the female goes this way. And I always wondered about the cremation. And every cremation I knew was buried at the foot of the parents, so that's not going to tell me anything. Then this past year, I knew of a cremation that had their own graveside already. And I just went out there the other day, and it definitely told me it was a man.
Well, that's cool. That is cool. But any of the cremation I have done, it will I will find the grave, but it does not tell me male or female. Yes.
That's it. I mean, it was definitely went the same way as I went over to another male, and, then the female, when I was checking it out. But yeah, it definitely told me, it took a
It's
little.
fascinating, isn't
And
it?
then it started to move.
It is fascinating. Yes.
Someone asked me today, and that person isn't able to be here today, and the question was if you are a person that cannot douse, and you're with a person who can douse, and you put your hand on the shoulder of the person who can douse, but you can't, does that negate
We can try it today. I have
No,
just,
you have to find somebody, I mean,
I have had, say, a son that can douse, but his father cannot, or vice versa. I don't know, like I said, my sister can, she wants no part of it.
but the question was whether it would carry.
I would not think so. But we can try it and experiment. Yes,
What about an animal grave?
I have found them. I have found them. Matter of fact, I plan on going back to the Jesse James farm in Kearney. When Frank James was living there giving tours of the house, he would take people out to see the headstone of Ben, his horse. And as Frank got older, the headstone started moving closer to the house, where it finally is just resting against the front porch. So they're like, sure, come on back anytime. And I'm wondering how many Pinkerton men we'll find.
Can you tell it is an animal grave when you're doing this?
Yes, you can. You can. I had a lady call me one time. She was putting in a flower garden and couldn't quite remember where she had buried her miniature Yorkie. So I went over, found the Yorkie, and she got a flower bed in all and around it. She just didn't want to dig her bed up. So, yes.
But if you were out in an area where you didn't know, the Yorkie is buried here, and there was a horse buried just anywhere,
You will still tell.
but does it affect you differently? I mean,
No.
But how do you know it's an animal versus a person?
Usually the legs sticking out. your rods will cross over. Then when you step off of those hind legs or front legs and step onto the front ones, they will cross again.
But if it's a smaller animal, say a Yorkie,
It's a very small grave. Very small magnetic field area has been broken. So. Any others?
Hello, everybody. I am definitively not an expert. I don't do that for a living in any way, shape, or form. Just a quick question. How many know what a placebo is? Placebo. Okay. So somebody will take a sugar pill and they'll get better. Why does that work? That's right, the mind. When dowsing, one of the things that needs to come into play is understanding intent. If you go out there and you don't, it's like, I don't think it's going to work, it probably won't. Intent. So, what is your intent when dowsing? What are you doing? First thing to know is there's not hocus pocus in dowsing. That's not what it is. We're actually tapping into science as it was for thousands of years and has just been forgotten. Right? It's not hocus pocus. It's actual science we've just forgotten about it. The ley lines of the earth, how energy flows, all that stuff has just kind of been lost. And now people are starting to go, well, wait a second, how did they find water? And then you say, well, water witching. Witching? Oh, you're into hope. No, we're not into hocus pocus. We're into science. And with your science, you add your intent. Because your mind is extraordinarily powerful. Understand that. Your brain is powerful. So what you're going to do is you're going to add your intent to what you're doing. Is that simple enough? Nothing complicated? When I douse, I use this right here. When she says that you don't need anything fancy, it's true. Both of these things, the stone itself and the rope, were gifts from two different people. And I use them. As for what works with the ley lines and electricity, the electrical lines, all of that, different metals will have different impact. I personally have found that when I am dowsing at a grave, that it works way better if I'm barefoot. I don't know why. A little electric flow through my body. Anybody know of the Schumann resonance? Schumann resonance? The earth has an electric frequency of 7.83 hertz. That's science. A Schumann resonance, 7.83 hertz. You get your bare skin in contact with earth, you actually get an immediate electron flow through your body that will reduce inflammation in the body. So why haven't you heard about that? Well, because they can't make money off of you standing barefoot in your backyard touching a tree, but they can sell you a pill. So again, we're not talking hocus pocus, we're talking about actual science. That's one of the big things to remember. We're talking about what has been known for thousands and thousands of years. It's just gotten lost in our culture, which is hilariously the most medically advanced culture in history and the sickest culture in history. Anybody got an explanation for that one? And we forgot the old stuff, that's why. So all we're doing is remembering the old science. Anybody got any questions for me?
What kind of stone do you use? And she uses metal. So what does that mean?
So what I actually have, it was a gift given to me. So I am definitely not an expert in artifacts. It looks like an arrowhead, but I was told by a man who claimed he was an expert, take that for what it's worth, that it's not an arrowhead. I was told that it's a ritual cutting stone. I was told that if you can see it, there's one side is flat and the other side has a part that comes up. And I was told that this is not broken, that this is the way it was made, and that it's an inside pull cut that they would use when they were cutting things. That's what I was told. Do I have evidence and proof of that? No. What am I doing when I use it? I'm using my intent. That's why I agree wholeheartely with, I just lost her, where'd she go? I agree wholeheartedly with her that the fancy things that they try to sell you, don't waste your money. It has nothing to do with that. It's kind of like when the preacher on TV tells you to buy water from the Holy Land. And I'm just saying, it's just intent. Just bless your own water, right? Do you believe that you have the authority to bless your own water? You do. You should try it if you haven't. Bless your own water. All right. Anything else? Any other questions? Yes, sir?
Are you saying that it might even get better results if you were totally naked?
My wife won't let me try. No, it's about contact with earth. And so when you are standing barefoot and you have the energy flow, you're actually getting an electron flow that has a negative charge through your body. Again, this is pure science. If you're interested, you can go on YouTube and look up grounding or earthing documentaries. They're there. It's been science for years and years, and it's about having the electron flow through your body, and it's very, very real, very, very scientific. Yes, ma'am?
Have you heard of the grounding sheets?
Grounding sheets, I sleep on them nightly.
So,
Yes, they're wonderful.
absolutely.
Absolutely. I'm a huge fan of grounding. For those who aren't familiar with it, more than happy to discuss it with you, but I basically just told you all the basics. All you're doing is getting the electric flow of electrons from Earth. Again, the Earth resonates at a frequency of 7.83 hertz. Your feet have 7,000 electrical connections in it called nerve endings. Your foot was meant to plug in to the Earth. And then if you want to get into the spiritual side of things, what are the bottoms of your feet called? Soul! That's right. The sole of your foot touches and connects into Earth, and you get an electron flow. And if you believe in the Bible, then it says that we came forth, that Adam and Eve came forth from the dust of the earth. He created them. And when you come forth from something, that's called coming forth from your mother. You were born from your mother. So Adam and Eve came forth from the dust of the earth. That's why they call it Mother Earth. And so your soul is getting back in connection with Mother Earth. There's the spiritual aspect of it, but it's still just what is. And it's fascinating. The shoes we wear now have rubber soles, which are insulated. So you've actually insulated your soul from being in contact with Mother Earth. Fascinating. And maybe because I understand that and believe it, maybe that's why when I douse, I got to take my shoes off. Could be my intent is that I need to be barefoot. My intent is not to be naked. So, all right, any other questions?
Walking along, your rods are going to cross with your magnetic field, trying to reconnect after all these years of being broken. If you want to tell if it's male or female, head west, it's a female. Feet
May
east, May west, it is a male. You can try this if you get into dowsing and want to practice at home. You can have a live body lay on your living room floor. Just have them head west, feet east, and the rods will tell you male or female. It will spin. So it is fascinating. If you have unmarked graves, you want to tell if it's an adult or a child, then you can do the west to east, east to west, and walk the length of the grave. I found 2 children's graves over here that are unmarked. They're very, very short, so I'd say they were an infant. Just when you hold the rods,
Just hold them loose.
yeah,
right?
just hold them loose. Let them rest.
So that they can lean on
Yeah,
Yeah, see, this is
just let them rest on your index finger and start traveling.
and just start traveling.
Yeah.
Because you told me, oh, now I'm not going to be able to do it. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to. Or maybe I am able to do it.
Works for her, so.
Well, it is now.
Back up slowly.
Okay.
Now drop this one.
That makes sense.
Let's see if it's going to swing for you.
Oh, yeah, it is. It's just, yeah.
It's going to the west.
See, that part
Yeah.
worked for me.
So what you can do at home, if you want to get more into dowsing,
Because I have an unmarked grave
towards
on
your-
my farm.
walk
That I wanna
towards your
find.
kitchen sinks. It's going to find your water lines. And back up, they will uncross. That way you can start getting comfortable with your rods.
Huh. Okay.
She won't be.
And then once I step off the grave, it's usually step on, step off, and I'll be going to the next one.
But then when you dropped the one, that told you if it was male or female.
When I want to see if it's male or female, you hold one rod. It's female.
I'll be gone.
And this comes in handy when you have an unmarked grave. You don't know if it's male, female, adult, or child.
So what is the explanation for that, since you say that they cross because of you disturbed the magnetic field in the ground?
Right.
Well, that was disturbed whether it was male or female. So what
They
is
cannot scientifically explain why, because if you have a live body lay in your living room, your rods will do the same thing. You don't have to be 6 feet under and dead. And they will still swing male or female.
And I don't mean to interrupt, but I'm with Timothy.
Yeah.
We use his to tell the gender of babies, and it's always accurate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no.
Do you want to do endometer? I want to watch.
But you said there's graves.
There are
This
graves
driveway.
here. Yes.
I don't want to try.
I've read about it, but never tried it.
So for the record, I am wearing grounding shoes. They have rivets in the bottom and there's a piece on the bottom. So all I do is I hold it out and I let it go. For me, if it goes left to right, it's female. If it goes front to back, it's male.
I've read on this, but never tried it.
Give it a shot.
It was straight out equipment. We're trading equipment. I don't know if this will work for me.
May I suggest holding it over like this?
Like so.
I like to rest it across here and just hold it with my thumb.
This is it. Did we
Like this.
No.
This. I like to hold it like this. Yeah, I prefer to hold it so. Let loose for a second. Put your hand out here. There you go. I hold it like that. That's what I have found works best for me.
What about her shoes?
I'm not taking my shoes off, people.
Everybody's different. Like
So what does yours do when you get a piece of grave? Does it just start swinging?
So I've
Or
never.
what shows you that the grave is there?
I have never tried to use it to find it.
Oh, okay.
I've only used it to find out if it's male or female.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Okay.
So I have never done this before.
Yeah, you just let these.
So, holy mackerel, that goes fast.
Oh.
Wow, that really goes fast. Don't worry about success or failure. Just do it. Right? I mean, nobody's going to beat you up if you're not right? Come on over.
I want to, yeah, go ahead. Mine goes one way for a man and the other way for a woman. It's different than her rod.
So, again, what we're learning is that when it comes to the individuals, that your intent and how you align into the electric field is what's going to make the difference. There have been times when I hand this to somebody and we do a yes or no. So here's a very simple example, okay? I'll tell it to be still and I'll say, is my name Timothy? Be still. Is my name Bob? So for me, a forward and backwards is a yes and a left to right is a no. I handed it to a friend of mine. They did it. Their left and right was a yes. Their forward and backwards was a no. Which one of us has it all figured out? Any hands? No. So let's not pretend. What works for you is what works for you.
Can I share an experience? But it was with rods, working with somebody in the city cemetery in Herman, who had convinced me and put the rods in my hands myself, so that, and it did what it was supposed to do. And he tried to tell me that it could answer yes and no questions. I took that man to my parents' graves. He had no idea, knew nothing about my parents, and I directed questions that provided yes or no answers, provided the right answer every time.
Wow.
Yep. It's crazy. We one of the interesting things we do with it is find out if watermelon is ripe.
Well, usually, at least it's useful.
So if anybody wants to try, you feel free. The best way that I have found to do it, and again, this is just me, that doesn't mean it's the way. Are we clear on that? It's just how I do it. Is I like to hold it over my hand and just hold it with my thumb and just relax.
Did you do that with a pendulum?
Yep, that's all that is.
Yeah, because that will tell you the same thing.
So just line yourself up with it and just relax and let's see which way it goes for you.
Going in a circle.
Give it a second.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
There you go. Left to right. Female. That's what it does for me as well.
It didn't take long.
They got the going.
You can tell it to stop.
Okay.
You can tell it to stop.
Does it have a name?
No. It's just your intent is all we're doing. You're telling your intent to stop.
Stop.